Here's a psychology fact you're not ready for. Your perfect morning routine is actually making you lazier. You wake up with all these plans: gym at 6 a.m., cold shower, journaling, meditation, and by 10 a.m., you're back in bed scrolling. Psychologists call this motivational collapse. And once you understand why your brain does this, you'll finally stop sabotaging yourself every single day. But here's where it gets even worse. Psychology says the reason you can't stick to routines isn't because you're lazy. It's because you're trying to become someone you're not, overnight. Your brain sees that massive gap between who you are now and who you're trying to be. And it shuts down. It chooses comfort over change every single time because change feels like a threat. So you fail. Again. And again. And the worst part? Every time you fail, you're actually training your brain to expect failure next time too. And this next part explains why your life hasn't changed yet. Here's what actually happens when you try to build the perfect routine. You set 10 new habits at once. Your brain freaks out because it can't process that much change. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. Your willpower runs out before lunch. You're essentially asking your brain to juggle 10 balls when it can barely handle 2. Then you miss one day. Just one. And your brain says, "See? You failed. You're lazy. Why even try?" That's negative reinforcement kicking in. You've now trained your brain to associate routines with failure. This is why people who try the hardest often quit the fastest. They set themselves up for a psychological beatdown. And here's the part nobody talks about. Lazy people aren't lazy because they lack discipline. They're lazy because they're overwhelmed by their own expectations. Every productivity guru tells you to just push through or find your why. But that's garbage advice for someone whose brain is already in survival mode. Your mind thinks, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. But the reality is, perfection is killing your progress. You're sitting there comparing yourself to people who've been at it for years, and wondering why you can't match their energy on day one. That's not laziness. That's self-sabotage disguised as ambition. Most people build routines for the person they want to be. But your brain doesn't care about future you. It only cares about surviving today. So when you force yourself into a routine that doesn't match your current energy, focus, or lifestyle, you're setting yourself up to quit. You're fighting against millions of years of evolution that programmed your brain to conserve energy. If that hit you good, it means you needed it. Because here's the truth you've been avoiding. You don't need a perfect routine. You need a lazy-proof routine. One that works even when you feel like garbage. One that doesn't require motivation. One that's so stupid simple, your brain can't sabotage it. Something that meets you where you actually are, not where Instagram tells you should be. So here's the mental trick that actually works. Step 1. Start with one micro-habit. Not 5. Not 10. 1. And make it so small it feels embarrassing. I'm talking so small that you'd be ashamed to tell someone about it because it sounds pathetic. Example, don't say I'm going to work out for an hour. Say I'm going to do 5 push-ups. That's it. Your brain won't resist because it's not a threat. Psychology calls this lowering the activation energy. The easier the start, the more likely you'll follow through. And yes, 5 push-ups sounds ridiculous. But you know what's more ridiculous? Doing 0 push-ups for the next 6 months because you set an unrealistic goal. Your ego wants you to announce big changes. Your brain wants you to make tiny ones. Step 2. Anchor it to something you already do. This is called habit stacking. Your brain loves patterns. It's constantly looking for shortcuts and connections. So if you already brush your teeth every morning, do your 5 push-ups right after. Your brain links the 2 actions together, and boom, you've built a routine without willpower. The key here is picking something you do automatically, without thinking. Not something you're trying to build. Brushing teeth, making coffee, closing your laptop at night, these are your anchors. Attach your new habit to something that's already wired in. Step 3. Never break the chain, but make the chain laughably easy. Lazy people quit because they set impossible standards. So here's the rule. You're allowed to do the bare minimum, but you're not allowed to skip. This is the only rule that matters. Consistency over intensity. Always. Feeling terrible? Do 1 push-up. Still counts. Exhausted? Do one.
Sick.
Maybe skip that day, but the second you're back, one push-up. Your brain is tracking consistency, not intensity. Every single day you show up, even at 1%, you're rewiring the lazy pattern. And here's what happens psychologically. Your brain starts to see you as someone who keeps promises to themselves. That's the real shift. Not the push-ups. Not the routine. It's the identity change that comes from proving to yourself that you can be consistent with something. Step 4. Add complexity only after 30 days. Most people try to level up in week 1. That's why they fail. Your job for the first month? Just show up. That's it. Don't add more habits. Don't increase the difficulty. Don't get fancy. Just protect that one tiny habit like your life depends on it. After 30 days, your brain stops resisting. The habit becomes automatic. That's when you add the next habit. Not before. And when you do add something, add one thing. Not 3. 1. And here's the psychology behind why this works. Your brain doesn't change through motivation. It changes through repetition. The more you repeat the behavior, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, you won't need discipline. It'll just be who you are. Neuroscience shows that it takes about 66 days on average to form a habit, but the first 30 are the most critical. That's when your brain is deciding whether this new behavior is a real pattern or just another failed experiment. But here's the part most people mess up. They think they need to feel motivated to start. Wrong. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Motivation is a result, not a requirement. You don't wait to feel motivated, you act, and then the motivation shows up. Sometimes 5 minutes after you start. Sometimes 5 days. But it always follows action. So if you're waiting to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Your brain will keep moving the goalposts. I'll start when I have more energy. When I'm less stressed. When life calms down. None of that is real. It's just your brain protecting you from discomfort. Start lazy. Stay consistent. Let your brain catch up. Do the embarrassingly small thing. Every single day. And watch what happens when you stop trying to be perfect and start trying to be consistent. That's how lazy people actually change.